The human cost of an economic crisis hits hundreds of Ohio public schools.
Your life flashes before your eyes. You walk in, you get that letter that says you're not coming back. Every time you turn around in your classroom, and you start to say something about next year, and then you realize you're not going to be here next year. You know, you work your tail off your whole life, and boom, you know, I lost my job and I didn't do anything wrong.
In this building, we're going to lose art, gym, and music. The whole district, we're going to lose the technology program, plus other programs that have been affected.
Hard. So I don't know what's going to happen to some of these kids.
We lost 200 teachers because of the money shortage, economic shortage. We lost 200 teachers, and it's directly responsible. It can be traced directly back to the openings of charter schools and the loss of funds in the district, which created a need to balance a budget.
Dayton's just always been hit really hard. It's, you know, many years ago when charter schools were first coming into Dayton, we were the only ones crying about it. And it was like, oh, that's Dayton. They're just crying about charter schools. It's not a big deal. Well, now charter schools are a big deal.
We're making the concessions, trying to save our friends' jobs. We're doing what we can for our students, emotionally, but yet emotionally, we're dealing with this at home as well.
I ride my bike to school as often as I can to save money that way. But you know, still things are tight. Whether or not we save money for our daughter to have extra money when she goes to school this next quarter, or fill our propane tank.
I'm forever pinching pennies. I've had to personally close down my 401ks that I had. The cost of living has just had to be reconfigured for me. I wanted to make sure I could retire within the next 4 to 5 years. It's probably now is looking at 8 to 10 years.
My husband works for ABX. ABX worked for DHL as a contract, and he was notified today that his last day will be May 1st, so he received his pink slip.
In the May primary election, Ohio voters decided on over 170 school issues. In the Southwestern City School District, a levy failure would force the elimination of all extracurricular activities, personnel cuts, and other vital services.
The need doesn't go away just because people say no. And they want to say no over and over again, and it's demoralizing as a teacher, it's frustrating as a parent, and it's embarrassing as a member of that community.
When you reflect back on school, the things that you remember are the things that are going to be gone.
I wouldn't have anything such as marching band, basketball, softball, yearbook. I wouldn't have anything there for colleges to look at me as a better person to choose.
It's as if the community doesn't appreciate what you do for the children of your community. It's when you read letters to the editor in the newspaper that are constantly telling you that you need to tighten your belt because they're tightening their belts, and yet every child in their household has a cell phone, and they have every cable station known to man, and there are all these things that they're not willing to give up, and school seems to be the last thing on their list of priorities. And for me as a parent, I think school is the #1 thing on my priority list, and not just because I'm a teacher, but because I see schools and funding schools as the medicine for an economy that's in trouble. I don't see it as an additional thing. I see that it's something that can fix this problem. And until people see it that way, I believe that we're going to continue to have teachers who don't feel valued, students who think the only important thing is a test. It's just sad.
What can we do? What must we do?
You know, you have to become active. You can't sit back and wait for things to change. You can't sit back and complain. You have to be part of that change, and it'll open doors.
Your jobs are defined by decisions made by legislators, and sometimes it takes a long time for education employees to realize that. people in education go into it because they love kids and they care about kids and they think education's important, and they don't really want to think about the fact that all of that hinges on some politician sitting in a state house somewhere or in Washington, D.C., but that's truly how it is. And so that's where we really need to be able to make an impact to help our kids and our future generation. It's the future of Ohio. It's the future of America.